You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt? Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
After 13 years of exposing lies in the media, I discovered the biggest lie of all. They want you to think racism is random, accidental, just bad people doing bad things. But what if I told you anti-black racism was engineered, programmed like software, marketed like a product, and designed to survive across generations? That's exactly what I prove in my new book, Us versus the Machine, How Anti-Black Racism Was Programmed, Marketed, and Made to Survive. This isn't another book about what racism looks like. This is the blueprint of how it was built, who profits from it, and most importantly, how to dismantle it. I spent years connecting dots that they never wanted connected, following money trails that they thought were buried, exposing the machine that runs on our oppression. Knowledge is power, but strategic knowledge is liberation. Get Us versus the Machine on Amazon today, because once you understand the system, you can beat the system.
If you have not been tuning in before, my goodness, you've missed out on a lot. Broke boy, but with potential. What made you realize this tough life is for me?
I deserve it. Because main money is special. I'm single.
But you don't like to be alone now. I'm looking for a guy to break my heart.
Well, as long as they're Nigerians now.
Watch Slay Queen Nigeria, only on the African Diaspora News Channel app.
From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured, held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
In H-Town, we want news that speaks truth, just like we do.
ADNC keeps me informed and him inspired.
We've been through too much to trust mainstream media. This feels like us.
From the D to the diaspora, ADNC is how I stay woke. We binge ADNC like it's Netflix, but smarter.
They speak on us, but never for us. ADNC does.
No fluff. No filters. Just the truth, daily.
From Wall Street to 125th, we're watching our news.
Download the African Diaspora News Channel app today to stay connected to the culture.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on the stream this evening. We greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. That's very, very important. Hit the like button. Also, they'll give you a survey, right? Sometimes there's a survey that comes up right underneath the video. And just give us a big smiley face and tell them, it's enjoying, useful, entertaining, all that. That helps, with suggestions now. They always ask those surveys. That's something new they're doing. So that would help us a lot when you see that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to address a few things at the beginning. Of course, we're going to be talking about tonight, for the people that got patience issues. Thoughts and prayers disappeared fast for the suspect in the Iryna Zarutska's Unaliving. That's a case that's going on out of North Carolina. And the white supremacists have found them a lane to go on. So I'm going to talk about that tonight, because they're trying to stir up a propaganda against black people with this particular case with this mentally ill guy. He was extremely mentally ill. People say he was mentally ill. And if anybody's at fault, it's America and North Carolina at fault for that young woman's tragic death. But we're going to talk about that tonight. But let me get to a few things, because I'm still kind of going through some of the answers of the survey that we recently asked people to fill out, and some things I need to kind of like explain or whatever. Okay, number one, I've seen some people mention about accents. Okay, so for me, it wouldn't be African Diaspora News Channel if I got African and Caribbean immigrants in this country who really don't live over there, and they don't even have an accent, like they're there. They're not in the country, nothing, right? So they speak no different than me and you. They got African and Caribbean people who's first generation, second generation that speak like me and you. So for me, I said, if I want to bring people in from let's say different countries, they need to be in that country, because how are they going to relate to what's going on in their homeland if they're not even there, but they're sitting here in America? That's number one. Number two, when it comes to accents, you have to take your time to listen. I like anybody that speaks to me, I hear them very well, as long as they speak in English. Now, they got some people that just feel like, what you say? But I'm so used to hearing accents, so really you just have to listen intently a little bit with a person. Nobody's here that I can say that I'm saying, oh man, no, they can't be here. Their English is bad. If I can't understand them, trust me, they wouldn't be here. I promise you. Everybody here, I can honestly say, speak very well. A lot of people here got college degrees and all of that. So they've taken English classes, but they speak different languages. Some of them speak 3 languages. Some of them speak 4 languages. And that's fine. I heard the other day, which I didn't know, when they make content, sometimes they have to edit the raw footage because they say things in a language and they got to edit that out and re-say it back in English. So, hey, that's something I didn't know. And I know that's a little work to do that. So when you speak in 3 languages and maybe English is you're not speaking English every day, I get it. So that would defeat the purpose if everybody spoke with an American accent. That just would defeat the purpose. I will say this, as Americans, Black Americans in particular, let's not get caught up on what isolationism, because we live in a global society. A global society, we all connected whether you realize it or not, okay? So let's not get caught up in that. So I would say just listen a little bit more intently, and you'll hear everything somebody's saying, right? So that's just that. I think the second thing that was brought up, let me think about the second thing that was brought up. Over here, when it comes to all the contributing journalists, they can post much as they want. Some people post more than others because they want to. I don't hold nobody back from posting. So Demetra posts a certain amount of videos a month because Demetra been doing that for years. Juan Gale posts a certain amount of videos a month because we've been doing it for years. The others, I tell them to post certain things, but, you know, I mean, so it's not really that you see more of me or Demetra or Juan Gale or maybe certain ones. No, it's really on them. Over here, it's performance-based, just so y'all know. It's performance-based, so what one person do is not what the other person do. Another thing somebody suggested, and I highly agree with this, okay? You had mentioned, maybe you listen and you know who I'm talking about. You had mentioned that, man, can you start maybe getting some people with the 3 cities that support you the most and getting some people from those cities, and maybe they can cover the tri-state area with just the news in that region of America. And let me tell you something, whoever made that suggestion, years ago, this is what I always wanted to do years ago on the American side. I wanted to get at least one person from every major city that we are in, right? So you got like Houston, Dallas, Chicago, New Orleans, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, places like that, right? New York City, of course, Philly, DC, Detroit, places that we're at, right? In my mind, I want at least one person in those areas. Of course, having that one person in those areas, this when it goes back to the term of funding and capital. When you bring that many more people in, sure, it may be easier to bring them in than the infrastructure got to bring in more editors, more money, right? Then getting people that is faithful enough to do it. Because what happens is 2 things I'm learning. With y'all, I'm talking about y'all Americans. I'm talking about y'all. Y'all like somebody with a gift of gab. Y'all like that. Y'all really don't like people that just report the news. You want somebody with some sort of twang to them, some swag to them or whatever. So y'all want somebody with a gift of gab. Some people get away with speaking just a certain way, but it just depends on who they are. But for the most part, y'all want people to do that. And I looked at the people that y'all like the most, which y'all was ranking, and just about everybody that y'all pointed out, minus one, got some sort of gift of gab to them, right? So that's just what y'all in America like to do. Just like I had to tell them, some of the African journalists, I say, hey, you can't really report things like they do in Africa. In Africa, they don't have the gift of gab. Like, it's only a few of them, right? Like Julius Malema, he got it. But just mentioning one. But on the news, you don't see a Julius Malema figure doing news like it over there. You just don't see it. So I'm trying to teach them or say, hey, bring out your do things out your comfort zone a little bit, because this audience is just kind of like what they like. So on the American side, let me start off one way. New York City. Let me start with you. Now, I would expect more mouth from New Yorkers than anybody else in the country. New York City is the number one city that supports us the most. New York City. So if anybody that's you don't have to actually be a journalist, but you got to be kind of, you got to have a little gift of gab a little bit. You got to want to do it. It is a performance-based type of pay scale, the way we do here. But hey, if you got a LinkedIn, shoot it to me. If you're interested and you're in New York City and you want to cover New York and the tri-state area, hey, let me know. Let's start off with New York. That's the first place I really start off with. We don't need nobody to do nothing in Houston, but we talking about New York. Let's go out with the cities that still support us the most. That's what a particular person gave on feedback, and I like that idea. It's already something I had in my head. So you're from New York and say, man, I'd like to come in there and do something. I can do my thing. Well, holler at me, let me see your LinkedIn. All right. You're talking about the Bay, huh? Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, another thing I need to explain, because something else came up in the survey about, in the beginning, we run the, the ads and stuff like that in the beginning. Why do we do that? Twofold. One, just for people to know what's going on. Everybody don't know everything's going on, like the books, the water company that we run. That we have a deal with them, so we run their ad. The water company, That's a local Black-owned business. Of course, you have the real estate, as a local Black-owned business right here in Houston as well. Of course, like I say, the books and other things like that, right? We run that for that reason. Number two, we run it because in the beginning, if I just cut on the live stream, just go with it, then people are like, well, man, I missed a lot. Because it takes about 5 minutes or so for people to get in here. And I don't even know what's been going on past couple of weeks that everybody's not even getting in here within 5 minutes. We were like 14 minutes in, and I don't even have, not even nowhere near what I normally would have in here. So I'm just explaining to y'all that. Now, to the people, I'm going to say something else. If you're complaining about announcements and stuff like that, you complain. If I catch you, I'm going to block you because I got to explain things to people, especially when they're asking me questions, okay? And this is the best time for me to explain it to them, live, okay? All right. Now. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. You say you got to have one person that everyone relate to. I'm glad you said that, Natasha. Natasha, let me say that, Natasha. Natasha, thank you for saying that. And I'm different, and y'all can talk to me about this. I like to hear so much what a person's saying, and I relate more to a person, the knowledge and the truth they speaking. I don't have to connect with them. I don't have to connect with nobody, not to listen to them. That's why, for me, I just don't have to connect with people. The truth is the connection point for me. As long as you're speaking the truth, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to listen to what's being said. I'm here to gain knowledge. Maybe I can apply it. Maybe I can go do some more research on it. But that's anything I listen to, I'm being fed. So for instance, like when some people talk about AI, I'm going back and forth with AI all the time. I'm not looking for a connection with an AI. I'm looking for information. That's all I'm looking for. I connect with my wife. I connect with my children. I connect with those who are friends and family, right? Or people that, hey, maybe support me, whatever. I meet you. All right, brother, sister, we connect in that way. But I don't need to feel like I'm connecting with anybody. Not watching you, I don't have to feel that. Now, that's different if you go in the church or the mosque. It's a little different. But at least in this space, just my opinion. I can listen to a brother speak. I can listen to a sister speak. It don't matter. The truth is the truth. That's how I look at it. If a dog was speaking the truth, I can hear that. A cat, I can hear that. As long as they're speaking the truth and they're not lying. So that's just me. That's me, because I guess I'm an information hog. Because the reason why I don't, quote unquote, connect with people is because when you do that, when people be human, then you're disappointed. You're, oh my God, why they do this? Why they say that? And all that. No. I look at your information. That's what I'm here to get. All right. Let me see here. What's going on? Now, let me get started here with this case. This case out of North Carolina. Let me go ahead and play it. And this is the case that the white supremacists are trying to rally around, right? They're making this case all about race. They're race baiting. They're being hateful. The young woman is Ukrainian. She came here from Ukraine, escaping the war in Ukraine. And, of course, the tragedy happened to her. Nobody supports that. Definitely thoughts and prayers are with her and her family, for sure. I didn't think she was going to escape to America and deal with that type of issue. But unfortunately, immigrants, no matter where you come from, no matter if you come from Ukraine, the continent of Africa, Asia, wherever, the Middle East, Latin America, Caribbean, this country is not a safe country. It's not. That's why I laugh at people when they tell me about other countries. Say, am I going to be safe there? I'm like, do you see what country you live in? And we'll get to that here in a minute. But let me go ahead and play this real quick because I got to talk to them folks, okay? Because I already see what they're doing.
This is the moment Iryna Zarutska boarded a late-night train in Charlotte, North Carolina. Video released by authorities shows her in her pizzeria work uniform as she scrolls on her phone. Police say less than 5 minutes after Zarutska sat down, This is the moment Iryna Zarutska boarded a late-night train in Charlotte, North Carolina. Video released by authorities shows her in her pizzeria work uniform as she scrolls on her phone. Police say less than 5 minutes after Zarutska sat down, the man behind her pulled a knife from his pocket, unfolded the blade, and struck at the 23-year-old woman 3 times, stabbing her in the throat. Passengers on the train later appearing to help her. Investigators say the suspect is 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown Jr., who's now charged with murder. According to an obituary, Zarutska was Ukrainian. A fundraising page says she recently came to the U.S. seeking safety from the war and hoping for a new beginning. The August 22nd attack sending a chill through the Queen City.
I was shocked to hear that. I was like, really? Because I just wrote it like hours before.
Today, President Trump weighing in on the attack.
So they're evil people. We have to be able to handle that. If we don't handle that, we don't have a country.
The president blaming Democrats for Zarutka's death, pointing to the suspect's criminal history. Police and court records show Brown was arrested more than a dozen times, including for assault. North Carolina's Democratic governor says the state needs more police officers and is calling on lawmakers to pass legislation which the governor believes will, quote, stop these horrific crimes and hold violent criminals accountable.
All right. So as you heard this particular case, the guy, and let's get to him. Let's get to talking about him a little bit. Let me go here and cue this up on the screen so y'all can see this. That's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. All right. So they say the man accused of fatally stabbing 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee in the Charlotte area transit system train, of course, North Carolina. He's been charged with federal crime. Okay, DeCarlos Brown Jr. is accused of committing an act causing the death of a mass transportation system in August 2022, stabbing, according to the Justice Department. So the feds have picked up this case, right? Now it was the state already had him arrested and in jail, but they picked it up. And they picked it up because the folks say, hey, look what he did or whatever. Now, once again, we don't support what he did. He needs to be in prison. That's for sure. So I'm going to kind of scroll down a little bit, and I'm going to, is this one spot I wanted to look at here. Where is it at? Is it, no. It was talking about his arrest record. Give me a second. All right, here we go. Now, they're saying here, where exactly did the system fail? It's hard to say. This man was charged 14 times. There have been numerous encounters with police departments. He was arrested by the CMPD in January, but he's still out on our streets, so we have to figure this out. Brown's mental capacity has been called into question. Now, that's what I want to focus on right there. His mental capacity has been called into question, ladies and gentlemen. Now, President Trump said he was evil and he got to handle this type of a crime or we're not going to have a country, right? Okay. All right. He's evil. All right. We accept that. But if we're going to use the term evil, right, and we're not going to talk about mental illness now, see, every other week, we have white males grabbing firearms, sometimes military grade firearms. Because you know an AR-15 was the response of an AK-47, right? You do know that? Grabbing AR-15s and other weapons and doing horrible crimes to more than one person, but to several. They're going to schools and shooting them up. And you never hear Trump, Republicans, or Democrats call any of these school shooters evil. Now, one of them call them evil. They are actually out here taking the lives of other white people. And they never say evil. What do they say, ladies and gentlemen? Thoughts and prayers. We need to talk about mental illness. It's not guns, it's mental illness, right? But when the same person, right, has been arrested 14 times, NBC has said, hey, he got a mental health issue too, right? Nobody's talking about mental health. Nobody's talking about treatment. Nobody's talking about any of that. Nobody's trying to find out, what happened with his mama. None of that. So if it's mental health for school shooters, then it's mental health for Mr. what's his name, DeCarlos, I think his name. There's mental health for him too. Listen, one thing we're not gonna do is have two standards. Them days of two standards is over. Either we talk about mental health and let's talk about it all the way around, because mental health has nothing to do with nobody's race. And this is why people call y'all out. This is why people don't even want to be around a lot of you, because you're wicked. I'm sorry, if anybody's evil and wicked, it's those that sit up here and will make this tragedy about race instead of making it about mental health. America, you've been having an epidemic of school shootings that you claim is mental health, and you did nothing about it. You have done nothing. Crime is running rampant in this country because we have a lot of mental health. Listen, two places that I've been that I've seen a lot of mental health issues, Los Angeles, California, and New York City. That's two cities I see people with a lot of mental health issues that really shouldn't be on the street. Now, my wife, I didn't see this one time. We was in L.A. We went down there by the Santa Monica pier area, and I was trying to get this other area. I was checking my phone, and I didn't catch it, but my wife grabbed me and she pulled me like that, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she said, that dude over there, he say, I know he's homeless, but he looked like he was about to do something. And she just snatched me, because she don't never do nothing like that. But she saw something with dude, right? And it'd be people like that that'll pull out, maybe the dude would have pulled out something and stabbed me. I don't know. But it was enough for her to physically grab me and pull me, right? But I don't question it. I learned with my wife, when she do something just out of the blue, don't question it. Just ask her about it later, because she's usually right on what she's doing at the time, whatever it may be. Or if she tell me about somebody, she's been right like 100% of the time. But a lot of people with mental health issues on the streets, and your government have done nothing about it. With all the school shootings, they have not passed a single law. But because they're so racist, so anti-black racist and full of hate, if these were black kids going up in these schools doing this, they would have had a law the next day. It don't matter if it was Biden in office or Trump in office. It wouldn't matter. That law would have been signed immediately. But when it comes to them, see, y'all accept criminality in your community. But you want to sit up here and throw the weight of the law on a mentally ill black person that should have been getting treatment a long time ago. I say Iryna, right? I think it's her name, would be alive today if y'all would have got that man in some sort of treatment. And I'm sorry, some people need to listen. They need to go back to the old school insane asylum. They need to open that back up with some people. Because some people just, no, they just not, sorry, they're not right. But she would be alive because we shouldn't have these people that's severely mentally ill running around society like that. So America, white America in particular, who's run off at the mouth, that's your fault. How's it my fault? Because you knew all the mentally ill people in your community that shoot up schools. How come you haven't did no laws to address anything about some sort of mental health holes with people that got truly mental health issues? That young woman didn't do that man nothing. She was minding her business on her phone. And he just did what he did. For no reason. It was for no reason. He didn't know her. She didn't know him. Nothing. But when people got mental health issues, they do heinous things like that. Now, let me say this with balance. Some people have mental health issues and they go to treatment and they get therapy and and we're not talking about the people that's treating their mental health issues. We're not talking about these people. We're talking about the people that y'all know got mental health issues. You throw them out on the freaking street and then you wonder why they're committing crimes. Some of them committing crimes just so they have a square meal. They got people that rather be in jail because at least they can get in county because they can get a square meal and somewhere to sleep. Some people commit crimes to go to county. But y'all not talking about that. Now let me get to a few things. White America. Hold on. So this just happened. This just come up. Hold on. Did y'all know about this? And I've been thinking about this, like really starting to cover these school things on this platform, because they didn't forget, and I think I'm gonna have to remind them. So police arrest a 13-year-old in Washington State. Now you know good and well it's not us up there in Washington State. It's badly black folks up there who had everything ready to go for a mass shooting. A 13-year-old. What is it about the culture that perpetuates this kind of violence? Now, I say when police arrested a 13-year-old boy in Washington State last week, accused of making threats to Unaliving, they found that he had everything ready to go to commit a mass shooting, including a trove of more than 20 guns in his home. Where would he get that from? Where would a 13-year-old get that from? He don't have the money. He was arrested after the Pierce County Sheriff's Office received information Friday from the Internet Watch Group that reports threatening online posts. After reviewing the suspect's social media posts, it was warranted to immediately move forward with an arrest. Now, I say when the SWAT team descended on the boy's home located in the suburban area of Parkland, Washington. How many of y'all are familiar with Parkland, Washington? Around 1 a.m. Saturday, they found a collection of 23 firearms, several boxes of ammunition, loaded magazines with school shooter writings on them, as well as clothing and writings typical to a mass shooting scenario. They say the arrest comes, as students around the United States settle a new school year and the persistent threat of gun violence that comes with it. Last month, 2 young children were killed and more than a dozen people were wounded in a shooting during mass, marking the first week of classes at a Catholic school in Minneapolis. Just a wave of active shooter hoaxes and more than a dozen universities strained law enforcement resources and stoke fear about carnage on school campuses. And this stuff has been happening for years, and y'all have not addressed this or the mental health that you say these people have. You have not done a single law about these guns or mental health. You don't want to do nothing about it, but all you want to scream and yell about one person, which is horrible. We're not saying that's minimized, but you have not done nothing about the many who have lost their lives at the hands of these guns that y'all love to, because that gun is your God, and the mental health issues. Now, I say the guns had no serial numbers, and some appeared 3D printed. What a 13-year-old doing with 3D printed guns and with no serial numbers? Now, that's some straight criminality. Now, Trump, when he was born to be a criminal, Trump, a 13-year-old with guns with no serial numbers and 3D printed guns, Trump, this is a person that's born to be a criminal. Make sure you talk about him, too. This is a born criminal right there. Let's say when investigators found the boy's bedroom, revealed what they described as an obsession with past school shooters. He imitated similar behaviors with photos and inscriptions spread throughout his room. It says it's unknown who or what the intended target was going to be, but it's clear it was a matter of time before a tragic incident occurred. Experts on psychology of school shooters say one of the biggest red flags for future attackers is an unhealthy obsession with past perpetrators. Investigators are serving warrants on the electronic devices found in the home in hopes to get a clear idea on who or what he intended to hit. It said some firearms were mounted on the walls, fully accessible, while others were spread around the home, unsecured. Images released by the authorities on the firearms seized show rows of long rifles and handguns lined up one by one. It's unclear whether the guns were purchased legally. It said that many have no serial numbers and essentially untraceable. Some also appear to be homemade from a 3D printer. This is a 13-year-old, y'all, that they got with this. 13 years old. 13. Not 33, not 23, 13. Now, Trump, this is a person born to be a criminal. Because how you 13 and got all this going on? All right? Now, of course, they've all pleaded not guilty. They find them in a heap of mess, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not guilty." Now, look, check this out. And this is another reason. The mothers, but they always talk about black single mothers. But let's talk about their mothers. His mother suggested his social media posts were an attempt to be cool among peers, and his father said he had no intention to harm anyone. You see, oh boy, here, yeah. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. I don't want to hear nobody ever again talk about black single mothers. You hear me? I don't want to hear nothing about a black single mother, because even if she's a black single mother from the hood, she's not raising that. Now, you say in the black community, well, they get in the gangs because they don't have no mother and father. All these school shooters or potential ones got a mother and a father in the home. They have a father. And that's what they go do. With a mother and a father in the home, right? Because you said in the black community, if we had more fathers, these things would not be happening. Which actually, with our fathers, yeah, we keep our kids on the straight and narrow, especially our boys. So I will admit that's true. But when it comes to y'all and y'all fathers, y'all don't keep y'all sons on the straight and narrow. Y'all sons be out here. Some of them are, like Trump said, born to be criminals. That's what Trump said. Some of them are born to be criminals. That boy, where did he get a 3D printer from? The father probably bought it. How you got so obsessed with guns? Because you rather put a gun in their hand before they can even hold a bottle right. But you want to sit up here and talk about black criminality? There's no such thing as black criminality. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll say he has mental health. Remember, the mama said he was just trying to be cool. So him threatening to unalive people is being cool. What kind of culture is that? In my culture, being cool, man, maybe you put on a fly outfit. Maybe you get some fly jewelry, a watch, some shoes, something like that at 13. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you had the latest iPhone, the iPhone 17 about to come out. Maybe you got the new iPhone or something. Something, right? We look at clothes, shoes, maybe some jewelry. I don't know. You could be the type of girl you're dating at 13. That could be cool. Hey, you're 13 dating a 15-year-old. That's cool. That's what we look at as cool. Not want to unalive a bunch of innocent people and obsess it with a freaking gun. But hey, but they'll say he has mental health issues, right? Don't ever let these people try to lay the weight of criminality on you. Don't you ever sit up here and participate in conversations with them speaking down on black single mothers. Because black single mothers aren't producing that. I've been doing this for a very long time. I have not seen black single mothers, I don't care if they're the worst or the worst, never produce sons that have done that. Some of them end up in gangs, they do. And even the gang members don't go do that. Now, gang members, because they don't properly know how to use firearms and they just shoot indiscriminately, innocent people get hit. But usually with them, it's street stuff, ops, all that sort of thing. If you're dating somebody that's in a gang and they ops show up, they may get at you too, because you with them, right? That's why we tell our young ladies, don't date the street thugs, because you may end up with a case behind it, or you may end up 6 feet under. There's a lot of young women in our community has ended up 6 feet under or caught a case because they threw the drugs on the girl and she didn't even know. And there's no honor among thieves. That's why we say don't date those kind of guys. We always said that, especially as brothers. But let's continue because I'm not done. Because they always want to talk about us. Give me a second. Where we at? What's the next one? Okay, we kind of covered that one. All right. Now, this was in April of this year. This was in April of this year. 4 was shot at the Wilmer Hutchins High School. Suspect was surrendered to police. Now, if the suspect was black, we know what would happen. Okay, so let's kind of look at this, and ladies and gentlemen, let's look at it. Let's look at this together. Hold on.
New this morning, a suspected shooter at Wilmer Hutchins High School has turned himself into police.
4 students were injured after a gun somehow got into the school for the second time in about a year's time.
Our Larry Collins is live this morning at Wilmer Hutchins High School with the very latest on this investigation and Larry, reaction from these families.
Yeah, good morning. As you can imagine, a lot of people still shaken up. I tell you, classes have been canceled for the rest of the week here at Wilmer Hutchins High School, a school that's unfortunately no stranger to school shootings. There was one here just last year. This morning, no update on those 4 injured students. According to Dallas Fire Rescue, 3 students were actually shot. 1 was grazed. Those injuries ranging from serious to non-life-threatening. Parents and students who lived through this terrifying ordeal are still shaken.
I didn't know what to do. A lot of stuff was going through my mind. And so, yeah, I didn't know what to do.
You're shaking.
Because I'm angry with it. It's angry. It's already on top of fear and anxiety.
Oh, I think someone needs to be held responsible. I mean, like I said, this is not the first time. It's obviously no lessons being learned. You know, like it could have been anyone else. If it was someone's child today that got hurt, you know, unfortunately, thank God it wasn't my child, but she's just as traumatized.
There are still lingering questions about how a gun got into this school a year to the week where it happened at another shooting in 2024. As for this latest shooting at the school, the district said the gun did not enter the school building during the primary intake period when students passed through metal detectors. They say it was not a failure of that particular protocol. Superintendent Stephanie Elizalde said the district now working to make sure schools are safe and secure.
Right now, our primary concern is to continue to provide support, ensuring our schools are safe, and we will work with all of our community to do the very best we can to ensure that everyone feels safe. It's not enough to be safe, they also have to feel safe.
Now, you'll remember after last year's shooting, there were a number of community meetings with families.
Let's stop that real quick. You know, so it said the condition of the shooting victims range from serious to non-life-threatening. The victims are 15 to 18 years old. As the official has confirmed the suspect in custody, identified as 17-year-old Tracy Denard Haynes Jr. And, you know, this is the thing. Now, this was updated on the 15th, okay? And then, you know, you had the FSU shooting, updated April 18th. We killed 2 people, injured 6. All right. And so they keep on, and let me see what's the next one here I have. No, I think that's what I wanted to cover for right now. And then, you know, we talked about this one that was on the August 20th, is updated on the 27th, but happened. Okay, PBS, we got you, and all of that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to prove my point here. They all say mental health. Well, with all these school shooters, and we can go all day with them. And as a matter of fact, I think I may commit to start doing it on these lives. You know, hey, if they have a school shooting, then doggone it, that day I'm going to cover it. I'm going to cover it. Because these people, you know, they try to just dismiss that stuff and say mental illness. Well, it's mental illness in this case, too, in North Carolina. It's mental illness, and why mental illness have not been addressed. Why? Why you got a 13-year-old with 3D printed guns? Why? Why the parents wasn't hauled off to jail? Because they facilitated that. A 13-year-old boy don't have no money for that. Why all that's going on? Well, y'all sit up here trying to the folks, especially you MAGA people. I'm talking to you in particular, MAGA. You sitting up here rallying around a Ukrainian woman that y'all don't even care about Ukrainian people. Y'all don't. But I noticed you didn't care about she was Ukrainian. You looked at her as white. But any other time you try to call her Ukrainian, right? See, they delineate and then they also get together when it's time. You understand? And that's what, unfortunately, our biggest flaw as a diaspora. We don't know it. I'm going to say Black Americans know how to do it. But the others, y'all don't know when it's time to delineate, when it's time just to unify. Some of you just don't know when. See, white folks know when to do it. But anyway, we're not going to have two separate things. So is mental illness in this North Carolina case like it's mental illness everywhere else? Okay? It's just that simple. If you don't like that, well, stop saying mental illness. Call everybody evil. And the thing is, the guy's in jail. He's in jail. So you can't say he's running around. Then they was getting mad, talking about all these judges he was let out. And so they found the black judge. And I've been seeing a pattern of that. Any kind of black judge do something that white judges has done. Oh, they need to be removed. Oh, they this and that and the third. Because let me tell you what it is. These people with MAGA, they don't want to see black people in no prominent position. They don't want to see you as a judge. They don't want to see you as an entrepreneur. They don't want to see you as a lawyer. They don't want to see you as a business owner. All they want to see you as is a lowly, low-wage worker, being poor, having to go work on the white farm somewhere. That's what they want to see all of us as. They don't like to see us as judges and lawyers and any of that, owning this, owning that. They don't like to see us driving, Mercedes-Benz or Rolls-Royce or living in big, nice houses or on vacation somewhere in another country. Oh, they can't stand that. Or you're flying first class. Oh, because you in first class, they're going to ask you, what do you do for a living? Because they feel like you don't belong in first class. So you got to be doing something to be in first class. You got to be doing something to travel. You go to certain countries, it's not just them from here, it's their whole culture. I'm going to do a video about a sister that went to Bali talking about the Russians and the other Europeans, how they were being racist. It wasn't the Indonesians, it was them. Because they feel black people shouldn't be in these places. That's why I'm all for black people traveling. I'm big about black people traveling. I want all black people to travel. I can't stand to hear a black person talk about they ain't been nowhere. Because the moment you get out of America for about a week, when you come back, you're not going to be the same. No matter where you go, you're not going to be the same. You're going to really see how scammy and undermining this country really is. We live in a complete scam. Every part of the system is a scam. And you can walk it from top down. How is a scam? You pay off a house, but you're paying basically a subscription fee, which you call property taxes. And if you don't pay it, they can take your whole house. Even though you got the title deed in hand, they can snatch it from you because you didn't pay your subscription fee on your land. That's a scam. It's a complete scam. You bought a car, but they tell you you can't drive your car unless you have a driver's license, and they tell you your driver's license is a privilege, not a right. But you're paying taxes for those roads and bridges every day. Then you have a car, they say you must have a registration sticker, or you can't drive a car that you own. Right? You must have a registration. It must be registered. And you have to pay this every year. It's not like a one-time registration. Okay, look, one-time registration, I pay it. Okay, cool. My car's registered, right? It's called registration. Why my registration goes out every year? My vehicle register means I registered, I paid, that's it. The only thing I should have to keep up with is insurance. Outside of that, I should be registering my car every year. That's a scam. So that's what I'm saying. Then I go to other countries and I see they don't have certain systems that set up like scammy like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, these other countries not perfect, but man, at least if I pay my house off over there or pay off a condo or apartment, at least I'm not getting taxed every year on it. Like, yeah, you got to pay me a fee or I'm going to take it from you. Like, I'm just saying. And I tell y'all that as I get older and I just see it's like the more and more your eyes open to things, the more and more your tolerance level get really small with a lot of this stuff. That's why I be telling my wife sometimes, like, I said, man, I get to the point I don't want to be here. sometimes. I just don't, because it's getting worse too. It's getting worse. It's not even getting better. It's getting worse. Y'all, seriously, it's getting worse. This place is not improving. It's getting bad. And for my peace level, it's kind of like, sometimes, I don't know if y'all remember Avengers Infinity War? When Thanos, snapped the gauntlet and half of society went away. And remember when Thanos finally went into his peace and Thanos just sat down and Thanos just looked out and it was just so peaceful. And he just took a breath and just looked at that. I never forgot that scene, right, in that movie. And I said, that's that kind of peace that you want to have. And you cannot attain that around these people. You can't, because they don't know peace. Because they're not peaceful themselves. The only way you can attain that is you have to get away from them. I mean, physically away. You can't live with them. You can't live among them. You can say, well, I'm going to go to this section of the country. They'll follow you. They'll follow you. If you really want that kind of peace, I've accepted that. In order for me to get that peace like Thanos had, he sat down and just looked out and just realized his mission was done. Even though his mission was a interesting mission, he went to a place by himself in that peace. So, that's movie things for me. I tell you, I watch a lot of Marvel stuff. I can go into a whole series of Marvel stuff and show y'all and relate it to certain things. Movies also talk about, in relation to art, right? Infinity War is actually pretty good. That was a pretty good movie. It really was. So just like Black Panther was pretty good. Definitely the first one, for sure. So yeah, y'all. Yeah, so you want to have that peace like Thanos had. That's the peace you want to attain, and you cannot attain that peace. And every time I attain a moment of peace, beyond which I'm not here in America, I'm not here. I'm just not. Because this country won't let nobody have peace. It's like when people come here, they'll tell you, I didn't even know nothing about race like that. And they come over here, everything's a color, everything's a race. And it's like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like this whole system, it's like, because these people don't know peace. This country has a spirit, a demonic spirit over it. I keep telling y'all this. You won't recognize it till you leave. When you come back, you're going to feel, how many of y'all have traveled? And when you come back to America, you start feeling a weight on your shoulders and you start feeling stress. Immediately when you're laying back into America, you feel stress on you. You're like, where'd that come from? I wasn't feeling that a week ago. The moment I got here, you're like, oh man. I'm telling you, it's if people, when you travel, leave this country for a week and come back, you will see what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody can relate to that. And once you get used to like that, having some peace for a little bit, you're like, man, I want to have more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sick of these. I'm sick of this racism. I'm sick of the ignorance. I'm sick of the bad food. I'm sick of the bad air. I'm just tired of it. And I guess just as I get older, my patience level with a lot of them is just getting smaller. I think maybe 10 years ago I had more patience, but now it's like, because you look at life a little different as you get older. It's like, bro, I'm about my peace. I'm not about all that no more with them, especially with them. Once you realize that people are not going to change and people are just not redeemable, you don't waste your time because they've proven themselves not to be. You understand? And only thing I can try to tell my people is we got to work together, get ourselves fixed, do the things that we need to do, focus on us as much as possible, and have a lot of options, including having options somewhere else too. Now, if somebody tell you, well, we don't do this and we don't do that, you don't do it. I believe in peace, and I go where peace is at, wherever that may be. It don't have to be way to Africa. It could be in the Caribbean. It could be, hell, you can go to Toronto, Canada, and may have some peace. I don't know. Peace is wherever you go to on this whole earth. You may go to Aruba and have some peace. I don't know. You You may go to Cayman Islands, or you may go to Jamaica. I don't know. Wherever you would get you some peace. I think black people need peace. In my opinion, in a perfect world, we need to leave the United States 4 times a year. 4 times. Every 3 months, we need to leave about a week just to reset and then come back and you can get back into it. I found at least twice does you real good. Yeah. Shy, Shy. Listen. Back in 2023, Shy. Me and my family, we was in Cape Town, South Africa. We had got this, I guess it's considered a villa, and they had a like outside. They had like a patio, but it was all windows, right? All these windows. And where you open them up, and so you can see the ocean. And so me and my family, my wife made breakfast, and everything. She got everything set. We was eating breakfast. And I tell you, that was one of the most peaceful breakfasts we ever had as a family. We just got to sit out there, look at the water, and that's it. Just look at the water. And eating, talking, weather feeling good. And my daughters still, my grown daughter still talk about that meal to this day. And I'm like, that's what I told her. That's what I'm working toward to attain. That kind of chill, that kind of peace. And I said, I know I can't really have that here in America like that. Nothing against my people. My people are great, but it's just them, and they're getting worse. And the reason why they're going to get worse is because their numbers are dwindling, and they're going to be bad these next 4 years of Trump. I'm saying they're going to be horrible these next 4 years, because they're going to suffer. And check out my podcast tonight. It's going to be a part 2 to what I covered about the farmers on the first video. Yeah, they suffering. So they're angry that they're going to be suffering under Trump, and they're going to be angry about black people. Always. We always are the scapegoat, right? We ain't got nothing to do with anything. We didn't make those decisions for y'all. Why are we always getting pointed out? Y'all don't point out nobody else. Y'all burning bridges for every country throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? You're burning bridges. You're messing up. Supreme Court just letting them do whatever they want. Trust me, it's going to be a lot of people not going to really rock with them folks by the time the end of Trump's term. I promise you. They're going to say, man, what happened? Why people look at us like this now? The whole world going to look at them bad. Oh, it's coming. The Koreans are already mad right now. What happened at their Hyundai plant? Oh, they mad. The Koreans is kind of like, man, if they don't handle this right, we're going to pull all our stuff out of America. And that'll be your Samsung, your LG, and your Hyundai. For sure. Don't they make Kia? Don't Koreans make Kia too? I think, or is it Japan? You say massage or is it aromatherapy? Yeah. Like I said, they got some cool places in America. Don't get me wrong. They got some nice places in America I've been to. It's like, when me and my wife went out there to Laguna Beach in California, that was nice. That was very nice. There's a lot of chill spot in America, but here's my thing. You get a chill spot in America, but in the back of your mind, these people come mess it up. That's my issue. They can come mess it up. It's not that you don't have nice beaches or nice weather in America. America, the country America itself is a beautiful country. It really is. It's just the people that's running it is the problem. They the problem. I promise you, if they wasn't running it and they was out of the picture, America would be a great place. It really would be. Yeah. You got nice homes in South Africa. Yeah, I went and seen these homes. Half the price of homes here in Houston. I got the film of it. I went to the homes. I'm like, $200K for this? I'm like, oh, and Marcus selling it hard. He was like, man, Phil, you need to come out here, man. And my daughter was like, yeah, Dad, we need to come get her. You can come stay out here, Dad. They trying to tell me. I'm like, man, don't get me started because I work and save my money and be like, I'm out. So I just value peace, and you'll see what I'm talking about as you get to certain ages. You value peace a little bit more than anything else. But that's my rant. Yeah, I'm laughing at Great Black Shark. Yeah, Great Black Shark. You know, you in Atlanta, so that's a good spot. You know, that's a real good spot. Keep Atlanta black. Please keep Atlanta black. Lord, I don't want y'all to lose Atlanta. Please keep Atlanta black. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. If they got that survey and say, did you enjoy this content, just give us a big smiley face and say it was entertaining, information, all that sort of thing, and subscribe, like. But thank y'all for listening. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Also, check out LaSherica on AfroWire.